too. Isn't love grand? Today we will be discussing Gypsy Rose Anderson's husband, Ryan Anderson. We're going to give you a little bit of background on that. We're going to talk about their relationship, and we're going to share our thoughts on Gypsy and Ryan and their moment in the sun, their 15 minutes of fame.
Those crazy kids.
Those crazy kids in love. But first, Pete's going to talk about our wine.
Yes, today we are enjoying a Petite Manseng from Virginia, as we didn't clink.
We unclinked.
Yeah, let's clink again. There we go. This is from a winery down in Virginia, James River Cellars. Fantastic area down there if you ever get to go down there. But I'm going to let Mary take over and we'll discuss more about the wine and give you our thoughts on it at the end of the video.
Enjoy some with us.
Yes, please.
So, Ryan Anderson was born in Lake Charles, Louisiana in 1986. Lake Charles is described as having a Cajun personality with a Texas flair. And you know what they say about Texas, everything's bigger there. Ryan is a 6th grade special education teacher in Lake Charles. In 2020, he and a coworker wanted to write to people who were incarcerated. His coworker wanted to write to Joe Exotic. So they made a pact, LOL, sounds like that horror movie. They made a pact that they would write to their respective people. His coworker was going to write to Joe Exotic of Tiger King fame, shout out to Carol Baskin, and he wrote to Gypsy because Ryan said he had always kind of had a crush on Gypsy. He liked her, so he wrote to her.
Where do you develop a crush like that? Like, where would he... This is weird.
He probably watched the Netflix show.
But that wasn't her.
He probably watched... Well, they televised her trial and stuff.
Oh, that's true.
So maybe he watched the trial?
Yeah, maybe.
You know, I have no idea. Maybe he, she had a book out earlier too, didn't she? Or no, or is this her first book?
I think this is her first book.
Okay, so this is her first book. Yeah, I'm sure everybody knew about her.
Well, they knew about her.
She was pretty popular.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to be rude here, but it looks like Ryan's options weren't. But oddly enough, Gypsy's options were...
A lot.
Yeah, she had over 250 men, she told in an interview. There were 250 men that were interested in her. And Ryan pointed out that they were even international men. So she could have been living over.
Intrigue.
Yeah, she could have been living over in Europe. So Gypsy was intrigued about Ryan because he lived in Louisiana, where she was from. So she responded in May of 2020. And because of the pandemic, they did not meet until July of 2021. The pandemic affected their love story a little bit, but they're living large now, so it doesn't matter. They got married on July 21st, 2022, and that was after only 4 months of visiting. Gypsy said that she was smitten with him, and he said he had already been smitten with her. He snuck the ring in. He wore it around his neck on a chain. I'm assuming his neck. Let's hope it was his neck.
Yes. we know how other things are smuggled into prison. Let's hope that didn't go down that way.
I was going to say, it probably did not even fit on the tip of his finger. He's a big dude. Okay. And he proposed with a family heirloom that he brought into prison. So they plan on having a wedding reception, since their wedding reception was in prison, so they'd like to have like a, an actual event, well, an event that people can attend, I should say. Obviously, a prison wedding reception is still a wedding reception. If you're in love, you're in love. Love is love, right? Okay, so Ryan was initially worried about all the attention that he was going to get. But now he seems to be riding the publicity wave with Gypsy and her millions of followers on TikTok and her community. So
yes.
That's the story. So I think it's very weird that he's a special education teacher. I can't imagine. I'm one too. I know I say that all the time. It's probably getting annoying, but I am, so it is what it is. I can't imagine. I mean, I don't know how to do things. We know how other things are smuggled into prison. Let's hope that didn't go down that way. I was going to say, it probably did not even fit on the tip of his finger. He's a big dude. Okay. And he proposed with a family heirloom that he brought into prison. So they plan on having a wedding reception, since their wedding reception was in prison, so they'd like to have like a, an actual event, well, an event that people can attend, I should say. Obviously, a prison wedding reception is still a wedding reception. If you're in love, you're in love. Love is love, right? Okay, so Ryan was initially worried about all the attention that he was going to get. But now he seems to be riding the publicity wave with Gypsy and her millions of followers on TikTok and her community. So I can't even imagine saying, okay, well, I'm going to write to somebody in prison that I'm in love with. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that I would probably be interested because of my, my obsession with true crime, with corresponding with a prisoner or two, but I don't think I would do it just because of my job.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And now they're all public. And not to mention that, but she's even talking about their love life, saying that he rocks her world every night. And we're just all jealous because the D is fire.
The D is fire.
Yes, Gypsy, I am sitting here so jealous of you. I can't even... Good for you, girl, getting grilled out every night with your fiery D. You go, girl. That's another thing that would be mortifying to me. Like, my students are nosy. I'm assuming if anybody else is a teacher, send me a comment, but my students are nosy and they would be all over that.
And they would have, I mean, for them to find something on you, they'd have to really dig.
Right.
This, they just have to open up their phone and it's right there. This is all over the place.
I don't, and sixth graders, I mean, their sixth graders aren't what they used to be. You know, not
now,
when we were kids.
It was interesting what you told me because I had not known this, that he is fairly new to teaching. Like he worked in a hospital or something?
Well, when he originally wrote to her, he was in a hospital. I don't know what he did before that, but at that time he was working in a hospital. So I'm assuming maybe it was like with kids that were psychiatrically placed or something like that. It was probably more of a facility.
Right, but what I'm thinking is, does he have tenure?
I don't know how it is in Missouri. I'm sure that Louisiana. I'm sure that they're desperate for teachers out there.
I'm sure they are, but the parents have to be. I would think a lot of the parents are probably in uproar, and this might jeopardize his job.
Knowing social media and parents nowadays, they probably think it's cool and want autographs. Okay?
I know.
Yeah, so, you look at it from your perspective as he's like an older Xer. He's almost a boomer.
I'm a boomer.
And he's in a weird position as compared to me because he's not in... I live pop culture every day in my job. I teach 9th through 12th grades. I'm a high school teacher. So, he doesn't get all the exposure to pop culture and the youth of America that I get on a daily basis.
I don't know, just as a parent, I think I would be concerned, at the very least.
But you have to remember, you wouldn't be a parent of a 6th grader. You're too old. So,
well, I'd say if I were,
graders,
though, if I were, then...
But if you were, you'd only be in probably your maybe 40s, and you'd probably think it was cool, and you'd just create your own TikTok that's saying that your son or daughter was being taught by Gypsy Rose Anderson's.
But now that you said that, I'm just wondering if he has tenure. So I wonder if his job might be in jeopardy. And I wonder if he thought about that while he was doing this. And then, what is his motivation for doing it? Originally, I thought it was all about the money, but then I see interviews with him, and I'm like, oh, those kids are in love. So I'm back and forth on this. I'm just really not sure where the motivation came. And with her, I'm wondering how many financial offers she received while she was in prison for books, for documentaries, for any number of different things. So was she looking for somebody to help her navigate that when she got out? Because obviously with her education, she probably would not even know where to start with that.
She doesn't know how to be alone. She's never been alone.
No, and I think that has something to do with it as well. But she did have the offer to live with her family.
Yes, she did, and she wanted to live with him. Plus, prison isn't the ideal place to nurture you growing into adulthood. No. I mean, she went there basically as a child with, limited life experience.
No life experience.
Well, yeah, but she had things like, they went to Disney she had publicity. She was used to publicity, let's put it that way. She didn't have life experience, but she had publicity.
Right, because of what Dee Dee did to get that publicity, just to get the money, basically.
I'm torn. I think special education teachers and teachers in general, all teachers, they tend to be more altruistic people who want to help people and want to do good. But I also think that he probably has some ulterior motives here.
Almost has to.
For her,
because you think if he's a teacher, you don't just be a teacher. I
Well,
guess
in Missouri, you might.
Now,
yes.
now maybe you do.
He has at least a degree.
He has a degree. He had to pass background checks.
True.
He had to, he at least had to be an upstanding citizen. Just, at the very least, right?
Yeah.
To be able to become a teacher. So that's not the type of person that you imagine marrying somebody who's in prison for murder.
And speaking of upstanding citizen, I mean, we definitely, I think society, we hold teachers, well, for the most part. I know there's a lot of teacher haters out there, but I think as a society, we hold teachers to a higher standard. I mean,
well, you should, because they're with your kids.
There's been teachers who've been fired for, holding a glass of wine on social media.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a bit much, but this is a whole different thing. I mean, the D is fire. How? I can't even imagine. I'm sure I'd be really embarrassed going into work the next day. He did say he took a couple weeks off, but I mean, sooner or later,
to get her settled,
right?
Basically,
sooner or later, his real life's going to kick in there.
I'm sure it's kicked in already.
And maybe he doesn't even need to keep the job. I mean, I don't know how much revenue she's taking.
That's where I was going with that. I hope that he at least realized that, okay, we're going down a road here, and this is where I'm just not sure. Was his motivation, was he really in love with this girl? Did he really have an infatuation with her? He met her. He's like, oh my gosh, she actually likes me. I'm not the best catch in the world. I might be the biggest catch in the world, but not the best catch. The
deadliest catch.
Deadliest catch, maybe.
And not for nothing, but I mean, yeah, I don't know, like.
And you can tell, you can tell what she's doing, and you can tell what he's doing in their social media posts, because you can just tell the writing is.
Well, he's chiming in too, like.
Well, yeah, exactly.
He's yelling at her haters on TikTok, I have to say, I think if they truly were in love and they really wanted to be together, I think if we were in that situation, let's say we were in that situation, I would say if I really loved you and I really wanted to just be with you, and my intentions and my motives were pure, I would say we have to do this the right way. You're on probation. We got to go off the grid. We got to be off the radar here.
Yes, I think her best route out of prison would have been to go live with her family.
Right.
And her father, her stepmother, her stepsister and brother, they wanted her to come. And they were sort of upset that she didn't come live with them.
Then America could have gotten used to him. It wouldn't have been in our faces. And it might have worked out.
Right.
Because most people, one of my former students who I keep in touch with, she got out of prison. She's sent to a halfway house. She has to get a menial job. You know what I mean? She can't be with her family, because this is how it's done.
Right.
But this woman gets out of prison and is like living a celebrity life,
Yes, she is.
I mean, granted, her outfit was only from Zara, but, because we all got ready with her on TikTok. But, and that's the thing. Had he really wanted to take care of her and support her, he would have said to her, we're going to go off the grid and we're going to live on my teaching salary. Let's wait this out until America knows that we're for sure a couple and we're legit. And then bring on all your publicity.
See, that's a good point. That's where the motivation comes into play.
But by the same token, you got to ride the wave too. But you know what? America would have been all about her even if they waited a year. They would have been chomping at the bit. It probably would have been better for her publicity if she went and got
if she had waited. Yeah. Build up the.
So to me, that would mean that his intentions and his motives were pure.
If he did it that way.
If he did
as
it that
opposed
way,
to the
right.
way they did it.
Right. And if she did it that way, I mean, what does she do? Like, let's talk about her for a second. What is she with him for? She's with him because she needs somebody, let's face it. She probably wanted to live, around her hometown, her home state, around her,
Which is why she picked
her
him,
family, right? She picked him, right? Because if that were me, I'd be like, yo, this dude's from France. I love Paris. Off I go. You know what I'm saying? But Gypsy with 250 people to pick from, I don't know what Ryan had. I'm sure we're all wondering. But then again, you did tell us the D was fire. So
but she didn't know that before.
She did not know that. No. They were only holding hands in prison.
Yes.
There was it wasn't like a Ted Bundy situation where she got to see how fiery the D was when she was in prison.
No.
So what's your take on all this? What do you think?
I am, like I told you earlier, I am back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Part of me really thinks they're both just all about the money, and she needed somebody to help her navigate these waters to you know, build up whatever she's building up to collect on that money. He saw her as an avenue to, I don't have to worry about teaching anymore, and I don't have to worry about my $40,000 a year salary.
And teaching in the South is no picnic.
No.
Teaching in the Northeast is no picnic either. I love my students.
That part of me is like, okay, they are just using each other as a means to an end. Then there's the other part of me that, hey, maybe they really did fall in love, and maybe this is as they describe it, and who knows? So I don't know. I'm sort of in a wait to see. I sort of know how it's going to end. Not pretty.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe it will.
All right, we're going to
Maybe
make
it'll
some
be a fairy tale.
predictions now because I have a really interesting one and I'm sure everyone wants to hear it. My prediction is that they don't even make the year and Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce break up and Gypsy goes after Travis Kelce. Kelsey. Yes, Gypsy. Obviously, this Petite Man thing was a little bit too good. Yes, and Gypsy chases Travis Kelce for the remainder until she gets put back into prison for stalking Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
So that's my prediction. This one's a little more fun because it's more pop culture and less crime. Yeah, it's, you know, we don't have to be as serious. So that's my prediction. So Travis, she's coming for you.
Travis,
put a ring on it. Wed Taylor.
Yes.
Get save yourself while there's still time.
Yeah.
Yep. Taylor could probably do the Beyonce dance too. If you okay. So what's your prediction? How long?
I'm going to give them 3 to 4 years. I think they're going to ride this out, ride it all the way to the bitter end, and then it's going to start to dissipate, and that'll be it. But I give them a few years.
As you could tell, Pete's the hopeless romantic, and I'm the realist in this relationship.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
So let's talk a little more about the Petite Man thing.
Okay, yes. Like I mentioned, it's from James River Cellars, which is down in Virginia. We went down there a couple years ago, and I'll tell you what.
Did you put the bottle in the frame?
No, I did not.
Okay.
The bottle. I don't know if you could see that, but there we go.
Virginia was the first place we had a Petite Man sing, right? We had.
I'd never even heard of it before.
We were like, "What's a
down
Petite
there.
Man sing?" Yeah.
So I think it's a grape that you're going to get mostly down in that area.
It's very fruit forward. It reminds me a little bit of a Chardonnay type of grape.
Yeah.
What do you think? It's
yeah.
like a Chardonnay, yeah.
Yeah, without the oakiness.
Without the oak grape.
But yeah, it's very fruity, very dry.
Virginia is a wonderful place to visit
yeah.
wineries. If you're listening and you're in Virginia and you would like us to come and visit, we would love to visit you and go to all 400 wineries in the state.
Yeah, we go up to Finger Lakes a lot, and we have a lot of wineries in our area here in Pennsylvania. The wineries around us are just insanely crowded all the time. Up in the Finger Lakes, it's hit and miss, but there's still a lot of people up there. When we were down in Virginia, we had the wineries to ourselves.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, here in the Lehigh Valley and
too.
The Lehigh Valley and the Poconos, they're just all so crowded. And the Finger Lakes on weekends is crowded.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah. So if you ever get a chance to get out of Virginia, just check out some of the wineries. They're beautiful properties, huge, great tasting rooms, and like I said, the wines are really good too.
And if you're from the Northeast, everyone talks to you, so get used to that because I know they're traveling whenever I travel to the South.
Yes, we were not used to that when we went to Virginia because nobody talks to us up here.
When we go to Crime Con, I told him he's going to have to get used to talking to people because, you know, in Tennessee, everyone talks to you. I would be on my phone in the hotel and people would be talking to me. I'd be looking at them like, why are you talking to me? Go away, you know. But yes, love the South.
Yeah, we're snobby Northeasters.
We try not to be.
We really do try not to be,
but born and raised here.
Yeah, we sort of had that nasty attitude.
So once again, I'm warning Travis Kelce. Put a ring on it. Wed Taylor. Because Gypsy's coming for you, buddy.
And did we give a shout out to a subscriber that asked us to do?
No, and we should. We're not going to mention her name because we didn't ask if she wanted to be mentioned. But yes, she told us to change our format. So let us know. You know who you are. B. We'll call her B.
B, okay.
Let us know what you think of the new format B.
She wanted us to switch up on how we introduce the wine and that kind of thing, so we thought we'd sort of do a hybrid of.
We're new, we're fledgling. We take all comments, suggestions.
Absolutely, yep. So, yep, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell to get notified for any new videos, and please comment. We love when you comment. We'd like to hear your thoughts. We'd like to interact, so please.
Yes, I've been making it a point to reply to every
have.
comment that we get, so.
Yeah. All right, anything else to add?
Nope, we'll see you on Thursday for
Thursday for Delphi.
I can't wait.
The Supreme Court hearing. All right, so good night, everybody.
Good night. We're the True Crime and Wine couple.